Hello, it's Paul Carenza here from the British Broadcasting Century podcast, and I wanted to occasionally bring you a little snippet of something from broadcasting history. This is an article I put online, but it's a bit tricky to read because the font's very small. And it's from Popular Wireless magazine, July 29th, 1922. So this is about 3.5 months before the BBC came into being. They're doing radio tests all that summer. London 2LO is the one to listen to, or indeed 2MT Writtle in Essex, a wilder variant of that. Variant? Did I say variant? Apologies. But this article is about the Daily Mail and wireless. Nowadays, the Daily Mail you may think of as, well, not exactly pro-BBC, but back then the Daily Mail was supporting in all sorts of ways, but not necessarily the BBC, as this article says. Here we go. The Daily Mail and wireless. Amateurs throughout the country have heard with joy the announcement that the Daily Mail has arranged a service of wireless concerts to be broadcasted from The Hague. Without a doubt, the Daily Mail has relieved the disappointed feeling caused by the delay in starting the official broadcasting service. And every amateur in the country cannot but feel in the debt of the newspaper, which has so splendidly stepped into the breach at the crucial moment. Our thanks and congratulations to the Daily Mail. Editor. And now the article. A new step in wireless broadcasting has been achieved by the Daily Mail. This go-ahead paper has completed arrangements for a regular service of wireless concerts from the Hague wireless station. The promise of these concerts by the Daily Mail in May followed the Postmaster General's announcement on the subject of broadcasting, owing to the delay in the provision of a national wireless broadcasting scheme, in other words, the BBC. The Daily Mail has now entered into an arrangement with the famous Dutch wireless concert organisation, the Netherlands Radio Industry, and every Thursday evening a special concert will be broadcasted by radio. I should say back then they said the word broadcasted, they hadn't settled on broadcast. The Hague concerts have been going on since 1919, so now the Daily Mail was sponsoring them because, as we know, it's tricky to fund broadcasting. Back to the article. The programmes. Crystal sets will be practically useless for a reception of the Hague concerts, but thanks to the speech modulator apparatus invented by Mein Herr H.H. Idzerda, that's Hanso Idzerda, we'll be talking about him on the podcast in a future episode, with an interview with Gordon Bathgate, who knows all about Hanso Idzerda, the electrical engineer and director of the Netherlands Radio Industry. It will be possible for users of the frame aerial to hear the concerts perfectly without the necessity of an outside aerial, providing valve amplification is used. So valve radios coming in to replace the rather flimsier, less reliable crystal sets, which is the cat's whisker radio. The programmes will include not only classical and popular concerts, but also bedtime tales for the children, taken from the popular Teddy Tool series. I think that's Teddy Tale, let's say that's it. Also, dance music will be transmitted, and given the necessary amplifiers, hosts may invite their guests to dance to music from the heavens. Nice way of saying it. I want to say that again, it's so good. Given the necessary amplifiers, in other words, you're not using headphones, you can be amplified, you can hear it wider into the room, hosts may invite their guests to dance to music from the heavens. Poetic. Increased power. Between 7 and 8 p.m. English summertime on Thursdays and Sundays, there will be sent out on a 1050 metre wavelength and a power of 800 watts the famous concerts of the Dutch service. This means that the Daily Mail concert can be heard over a distance of 1,000 miles range. Listeners in at Aberdeen in the north, Penzance in the south, Galway in the west will be able to hear perfectly the music from Holland. Furthermore, on August the 3rd, the Dutch service will be broadcasted at a power of 1,500 watts, giving a range of 2,000 miles, where valve reception is employed. Daily Mail's wireless record. Since the Daily Mail had the wireless receiving set installed in May 1920, there has been a long succession of wireless feats, each surpassing the last in usefulness and importance. In May 1920, a news message was sent to the Daily Mail by wireless, the first time that a news message had been sent by these means. The message was sent by wireless telephone from Chelmsford in Essex, and it was heard all over the country. The next notable stage in wireless history was in the following month when Melba sang to the world through the wireless telephone. We featured this on episode 5 of our British Broadcasting Century podcast. Do listen if you haven't. The Diva's voice was heard clearly over a great part of Europe. It was probably the most unique concert that has ever been given. Then an experiment of great usefulness was carried out. A Daily Mail reporter who was walking across Hampstead Heath was called to the office by means of a wireless telephone message sent out by the Daily Mail. The March of Progress. The day afterwards, a Daily Mail reporter by means of a portable wireless set, received a summons from his office while he was travelling in a train between Bromley and Bickley. In December 1921, the first direct wireless message was sent to Australia from England, the message being a greeting from the Daily Mail to its correspondent at Sydney, New South Wales. On May the 12th last, an important piece of news was broadcast for the first time. Broadcast, not broadcasted, I notice. They changed halfway through the article. On that occasion, the Daily Mail broadcast the news that Carpentier had won his fight with Lewis at Olympia. Thousands of amateurs received it successfully. Now that was the first broadcast of London 2-0, the Lewis-Carpentier fight. Knockout in under a minute, unfortunately, but there you are. More recently still, on June the 2nd, the Daily Mail organised a test in which an imaginary criminal was hunted down by a detective by means of wireless. That sounds fun. More of that on the radio, please. Anyway, that's the end of the article. That's the Daily Mail and Wireless, an article in Popular Wireless magazine. And thanks to Andrew Barker, the newspaper detective on our podcast, for finding that and many others, which we'll hope to bring you on the podcast, The British Broadcasting Century. Do find us on Facebook. That's where I'm posting this article, so that's probably where you're seeing this. Might put it on YouTube as well. Anyway, that's it. I now stop talking. Goodbye.